Well, hello there, YouTube, and wherever else this is going. My name is Ross, if you don't know me, and this is
Mykie Rutter.
Mykie Rutter. We are here for the second installment. I guess it's episode 1, but the second time we're doing it because last week was a pilot episode, whatever. We are going to be talking about probably my favorite core value. You know, last week we talked about what core values are and why have them, how do we use them in a company. And this week we're doing one of my favorite ones. It's called Fun and Focused, baby. Are we doing this thing or what? It's going to be great. So this started off. I think I want to give like the backstory of how this value came into existence.
I don't think I know this story.
Yeah, it's not like a specific story, but I feel like there's just an origin to it.
Okay.
I think it kind of just came from literally like me, Ethan, and Riley being delirious behind the cart, like deliriously hopeless because we were so tired that like the only thing we could do was just like have a great time.
Yeah.
So it's not like the most inspiring origin story, but
When you're so sad that you can only have fun.
well, yeah, it's like we weren't sad. It was just like we were really overworked and we
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of customers, at the cart. And so we would just like play silly music. Like we would just like bump Yeah by Usher. Not a silly song. Very serious song.
Very serious.
But, bumping that in like Alpharetta pop-up is just kind of fun. So we would have fun with it. We wouldn't like hold back on just having a really fun, silly time at work. And I think over time, we just saw how that like really invigorated us. And I even felt it like literally just now. Like we were out there eating lunch and we just kind of like started cutting up and having fun and like my mood lifted.
Yeah, true. Same.
And that makes me do a better job at work.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
Have you seen that played out behind the bar?
Yeah, I feel like when, there's a couple of us behind the bar and we're, I don't know, just not zoned in and ignoring each other, but we're all like talking and laughing and having fun. Like, I feel like the energy kind of spreads too. And like, I don't know, people are sitting, drinking their coffee, like, oh, they're so happy. They're like, they genuinely love their job. Yeah, totally lifts everyone's mood, not even just us behind bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a two-tiered value, fun and focused. And so we'll kind of talk a little bit on this time today of like what happens when we go too far to the fun or too far to the focus side. But on the fun side, like, and you kind of alluded to it, we use this. We didn't come up with this at all, but the picture of a thermostat, like the difference between a thermostat and a thermometer. The thermostat sets the tone and the temperature for the room, right? It raises or lowers the temperature. It has the power to do that versus a thermometer just kind of like is reactively, indicating what temperature it is. They're completely different things. And so in this value, we like to talk about being a thermostat. That's what we, talk about in orientation. I just think about like, this didn't necessarily happen to me while working at Valor, but in past jobs, like we would have 3 or 4 crabby customers, or let's say it was super slow that day and the vibes were low and the energy was low behind the bar. And so whenever the next person walks in, they kind of walk into this like heavy, moody, angsty, sad environment.
Yeah.
And it's because we behind the bar were kind of carrying that.
Yeah.
And so, saying that in a positive way, like, how do you think at Valor, how do we do that? Like, it's a really fun environment. What are like practical ways we live out this value, like for being a thermostat?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we live it out by getting to be empowered by you guys, you Ross, you are Ross, Ethan and
Yes,
Riley.
I am.
And then also like me empowering the team, like you can be yourself. You can have fun behind bars. So I think one, just like knowing you're allowed to not take everything so seriously allows everyone at Valor to live out the fun and focused, because you're not going to get in trouble for having fun.
Yeah.
And then another practical way that we do it is with our music. Actually, we were talking about that. We just started, we always will randomly put on playlists that we make and stuff, but we've recently started like a 7 to 8 a.m. playlist. And that's maybe some acoustic chill good moments right there. Maybe some Fleet Foxes or Nick Drake or something. And then we build it up by 1 p.m. We it straight up is Yeah by Usher.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and we kind of maybe go down to some lo-fi music after that. But the playlists now are 7 hours long.
Yeah.
But it really helps set the thermostat throughout the whole day too. I feel like that's a really intentional play on our part.
Right. And it goes back to our job as hosts.
Yeah.
When we're behind the bar, when we're even hosting people into this space, into the HQ, we're in the position of host. So, and this person is our guest. And so we're the ones that get to set the tone for how that rolls. They may be in a good place or a bad place. We meet them where they are, but we're setting the tone, being that thermostat in a huge way is through fun. And last week we talked about how core values are like train tracks that keep us going towards our vision. And so when we say we at our core value fun, if work isn't fun, if there isn't an element of fun in what we do, it's not always going to be easy at work. Of course, we're going to be doing things we don't necessarily love to do sometimes.
Yeah.
But if there's not this element of fun, if we're not prioritizing that, then we're off track.
Yeah.
Which is just, I think, is amazing.
But it's a core value.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
Right.
It's kind of a maybe not a traditional core value. So talked about fun, the focus side. Maybe transitioning into that, we could talk about what happens when things get too fun.
Totally.
At work. When do you feel that happening?
Yeah. I feel like it happens usually we're vibing off the energy of a rush. So there's already so much going on because we're busy. And then we want to bring everyone into that fun too. Because we love kind of being slammed and whipping out drinks and having a good time. But it's happens when the fun becomes makes us go eyes down instead of eyes up. And eyes up is I want to have fun, but I want to take a moment to, see this person over here, they need water, or they asked me for a sugar packet and I totally forgot. And just because you're getting caught up in honestly the fun of it all, or I didn't say hello to someone who walked in.
Right.
That's important.
Yeah, and it goes towards one of our service philosophies, which are sub points under core values, and it's inviting guests into the fun.
Yeah.
It's easier for me. So if it's me and you behind the bar and we've known each other for pretty much 3 years at this point, and we've, talked a lot, we're friends, we work together, it's easier for me to relate to you.
Yeah.
Because we know each other and we're a similar age, similar walk of life. It's easier for me to relate to you than it is for me to relate to someone that comes into the cafe that I have nothing in common with.
Right.
And so I want to make a practice of, yes, we're having fun behind the bar because that's literally a core value, but the fun behind the bar needs to translate to the guests that walk in.
Yes.
I remember this one time I walked into a cafe. This moment really solidified this for me. I walked into a cafe, beautiful space. The music is bumping. It's fun. The baristas behind the bar, they're all having a great time, cutting up, laughing. I was like, man, this is going to be a cool place. I walk up to the bar and the barista was talking to his friends like this. And then I walk in, he's like, what can I get you?
Ooh.
And I felt like I was interrupting him and
for existing.
Yeah, I was interrupting his off task fun. And it's cool when we get to just literally include the people that walk into what's going on behind the bar.
Yeah. And also that reminds me, it's kind of vulnerable to walk in somewhere for the first time, no matter where. I mean, I'm extroverted, but if I'm going to a restaurant or a cafe, you just like, you don't know the vibe until you get in. Which reminds me of the fact that we give out stickers when we find out that it's someone's first time.
Yeah.
Because you feel kind of like, for some reason you feel awkward not knowing like what to order. It's like, why would you? You've never been here before.
Sure.
But that happens to everyone. It's like, just like that first moment of being like, wait, we love when it's like people's first time. Like that is the most exciting part. Like we're meeting someone new. Like, how'd you hear about us? Here's a sticker. I call it the badge of honor. So it helps like totally flip that awkward, like insecure moments of being somewhere for the first time too.
Yeah. And on the focus side of fun and focus, like I would say that you can't have fun at work truly if you're not focused.
Yeah.
Because like if you and I maybe we're working with 2 or 3 other people behind the bar, it's super busy Saturday, and we're not focused and we get really, really behind on drinks, like that's not fun.
No, it just screws everyone over.
Like,
yeah.
We had so much fun, or we were, maybe off task with something that it actually like we kind of shot ourselves in the foot
Right.
as far as fun goes.
Yep.
And so on the focus side, like something that we might say behind the bar is even if something is maybe more towards focused or more towards fun, we'll just say, hey, fun and focused.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like aligns us back to that center of like,
we can do both.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are competent, equipped, hopefully people
Yeah.
that are doing our jobs, but we're having fun while doing it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's really as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like it's a really simple value. But I think that it's one of the things that makes us who we are the most. Like, cause if you ask maybe one of our regulars in the cafe to describe, our 44 Milton Cafe in a few words, like one of them would totally be fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And people come to our cafe to have like a bright spot in their day. And so we're not trying to like manufacture fun in like a synthetic way, but it is a practice to be like,
yeah.
I don't know, let's have some fun.
Yeah, it is a practice. It's a practice of trust, and you have to trust the people you're working with to be able to not shoot you down when you're trying to have fun. Because sometimes you could work with someone, and if they're not in the mood, you're not having fun. So it's like trust that like all of us are accepted and empowered to be ourselves, to have fun, and to bring customers in that with us, and like letting them know too, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to have fun, make jokes with us, and laugh while we're steaming milk. Like yeah,
and that really comes down to, it starts at the top. Mm-hmm. Like it is up to us as leaders to set that tone and make our people that are under us feel comfortable enough to just like let their walls down and just be who we hired them to be, which is just them.
Absolutely.
Well, that was fun and focused.
Yeah.
These will be a little bit shorter format. We're usually used to doing like 2-hour long shows so for it to be like 13 minutes is wild to me. But thank you for taking the time to be here.
Yeah, thanks
again.
for asking. Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.